just trying to get this next video out, and it's been a challenge, and I've got a lot on my mind. I had one of the tougher weeks I've had in a while, and all right, we'll see how it goes. I first want to say that I realized that these video diaries are, I'm really grateful for them because it feels like I'm being heard. It feels like I'm speaking to my community and supported. And even if I don't know who's going to see it, I know that there is the opportunity for a large audience to um, support me, and that feels really great, and I'm so grateful for that, and it makes me feel joyful and warm in my heart. And also I know that there's the potential for harsh judgment, and I don't want to use the phrase I don't care, but because I do care, but I've realized that I'm not afraid. I'm not as afraid of it anymore, and I think that is a absolutely massive growth point for me, because I've been debilitated by fear, and I don't want to be anymore. And I don't want to talk too much more about that, but I just wanted to say that. So thank you. What I want to talk to you about today is this story, this really long story of girl, boy meet, girl, boy fall in love, girl, boy are destined, girl, boy break up, girl tells boy she met another boy last Friday. She tells boy this. And I don't want to get into the details of that story because that's not the important thing. I think the important thing is what that whole process, that whole narrative has triggered in me. It's not like I've never been here before. I've been broken up with. I've broken up. I've had exes date again, and typically in the past it's been really traumatizing for me. And I go into these, really intense, dark stages of mourning and feeling rejected. And I don't feel that right now. I feel like there is purpose in it, and there's purpose in that closure, which is amazing because that's absolutely new for me. It's a whole new ground to be standing on. And I'm not saying that I didn't hurt and I don't feel pain right now, but it's purposeful, it's intentional, and it is offering me the ability to grow and to move forward and to ask questions that I may not have ever asked before. And the weekend after I was told was really introspective, and I was really digging deep for answers. And then Monday came around, and I had these enlightening epiphanies about it, the whys. And the week was mellow-ish on it. It really was feeling good, and there'd be waves of discomfort and feelings of whatever, just not great, but it wasn't super painful, and I've learned a lot in it, through it, about purpose. And it's interesting because throughout the week, all these serendipitous and encounters with the meaning of life and the meaning of happiness and the pursuit of happiness, and all of this has just been coming like headlong, as a saying, I don't know, right in my face. And I read an article the other day about the pursuit of happiness, and there's some studies throughout the world that are showing that it can lead to loneliness and depression. And so reading this article, like when in the first moment I've been in months, so where I'm trying to pursue happiness again, I'm trying to find that happiness spot, was like slapped me in the face. And there was a caveat to it, though, that the pursuit of happiness oftentimes is defined as, material happiness, relationships, money, cars, whatever. But if we are looking for happiness within, in that aloneness, there's the possibility of avoiding that loneliness. And so obviously I'm not looking for fast cars and big houses. I'm looking inward. And so that was hopeful that, you know, I mean, for me, it's not hopeful. I don't think I'm trying not to be hopeful, but it's hopeful that if people can learn to look within for happiness, then they can free themselves of that depression and loneliness. And maybe for me it is too, and maybe I'm being arrogant by thinking that I'm excluded from that. I just don't really, because I am feeling a little lonely, but I'm not pursuing the same happiness that the article was mostly talking about. It just was interesting that people are studying that. It also brings up all these paradoxes that we've discussed before. The first paradox I ever encountered was the koan. It's the Buddhist paradox that the monks meditate on to try to achieve enlightenment, and that made no sense to me. It was way over my head. I had no idea what they were talking about, so I just let that one slide. But this new paradox, which I think is a global paradox, is interesting. It's one that I think most of us will. Well, it's actually one that I thought most of us will be encountering, and then apparently I read a couple articles this morning that are saying that it is the global paradox of mankind. How to achieve this happiness, how to achieve anything without trying to achieve it. You know, we sit in this, like in my meditations, I sit in these moments of wanting, and when I reach that, when I enter that state of want, everything that I want is unattainable. That desire creates a separateness, a duality, a door that keeps me from receiving. And so to let go of all of that want is the challenge, and that's the paradox. How do I do that? And maybe the first step is to stop asking. So anyway, that closure in that relationship gave me the opportunity to start to contemplate that paradox. Like, what do I need to do? And it's such a challenge to realize that the shortest, I've read this too, the journey to yourself is the shortest because it's not even a step, but it's also the longest because it could take a whole lifetime to realize that everything we need is within us. And that has been the absolute greatest challenge of my life. I would never admit this before. I don't think I ever had, but I definitely am codependent, or have been, and the old me was codependent, and I don't want to be that person anymore. So the idea of being in this absolute alone state, other than my dog, I think is a great opportunity for me to look inward and to, make that journey towards myself and really ask myself if I love myself. Really ask myself if I can be happy without truly loving myself. And so that's the journey I'm on right now, is trying to love myself. And again, like, I hope that the trying doesn't keep me from doing it. I was talking to a Jewish meditation, instructor or teacher yesterday, and she told me her rabbi told her this this tool. It's called the 2080, and it was the first time I ever heard of this thing, and it was absolutely amazing and life-changing, transformative for me, because as an empath or as someone who is just always extending themselves, I just feel scattered and shattered and taken anytime I'm in interaction. And what she told me is her rabbi told her that the 2080 is keeping 20% of yourself within, keeping 20% of yourself grounded in anything, even in just a regular conversation at the supermarket or with somebody on the street. Just always intentionally keep 20% of yourself to yourself and not just give your all. And contemplate that for a minute. If that's not something new to you, great. That's kind of a new idea for me. It's I think it's going to be transformative because I oftentimes, like I said, just let it all out. And even right now, I feel like, gosh, if I just kept 20% during this diary, then maybe it would have gone better. And maybe I'll really think about that. Maybe I'll do another one and do that. But I don't know. This is whatever. It's out. Thank you.